Sean Cannell is a super successful YouTuber with almost 1 million subscribers across his different channels, where he teaches people how to be more engaging and more successful with video. In this interview, we took some of his best ideas and strategies that he's used to build his channel. And we also deep dive into how he actually comes up with ideas that he knows is gonna work. So let's get into it. Throughout that journey, you said like you were learning and trying all these different ideas that you were picking up. Where did you go to actually find some of those ideas?
I think that as far as getting ideas, I really love the quote that was from Pablo Picasso, originally attributed, that good artists copy and great artists steal. It's this idea of when you're just starting out, that imitation of the masters, of the greats, can really be a shortcut. Like if you are just beginning, you need mentorship. Well, maybe you don't even have a mentor. So what can you do? You could try to, I used to draw. And so I would, I saw you drew as well. You know, it was terrible on day 1 and amazing at day 30. And one of the things I would do is I would actually use that transparent paper and I would trace drawings at first. And then eventually I would do my own drawings after I learned some things from tracing. And that's kind of what I mean by copying. So I would just try to look at people that influenced me and I'd be like, well, I could probably do that angle, or I could structure my video like that. And it wasn't even close to what they did, but it started giving me sort of at least a template of someone to model, someone to follow. So that has been a huge thing. I've always looked for mentors. You know, jazz music, for example, a jazz musician is kind of known for creating music that's seemingly random, it's unscripted. Jazz musicians didn't start that way, the best ones. They started by creating inside of constraints. They started by learning the normal scales, by playing other people's pieces. And after years of doing that, it gave them the foundation, if you will, learning the rules of success, to break the rules, but have it not be terrible. And so that's kind of been my philosophy.
Yeah, how did you keep ensuring that you were developing your skill set?
By actually taking massive action and doing it. I think that probably one of the biggest things that's happening in the age we're living in is we're experiencing information overload. Social media, YouTube has kind of a dangerous side because there's so much content that's being pumped out there. We can become full-time consumers and not actually be creators. And I think that winning looks like being both. It actually is not only creating. I think we need to consume to get inspiration and get ideas, but it also is not only consuming. So something that served me really well is by just always wanting to do both. I've always been obsessed with reading books, watching videos, going to conferences, getting courses, mentorship, but then also taking action, because I realized that we learn by doing. My first YouTube channel, it was just my name, Sean Cannell, was all over the place. There was no brand there. I didn't know about having a target audience. I didn't know about any of the things that now I help people learn, but I just got started. I used to just upload random videos from my phone, and then it was a video about a movie review, and then it was like a cooking tutorial. And all of that, though, all those years of practicing made it look like I have, wow, where'd you get all this clarity from? Well, from having no clarity for years, but taking massive action and learning what I wasn't good at, or learning what didn't work, and failing a lot, or just experimenting a lot to find my kind of magic zone eventually.
Awesome. I know one thing that you mentioned there is modeling all of these successful people and kind of stealing and then leveraging that. Can you point to some of those moments that you had, like an aha moment or a turning point in your journey when maybe you recreated a video and you're like, oh, that's actually getting a lot of traction because of X, Y, and Z?
Great example is actually, this was directly copying a format. I did a video called Interview with a 1-year-old and then Interview with a 2-year-old on my Sean Cannell channel.
Have you been experiencing any mood swings?
I saw a guy named Arturo Trejo. He recorded his 1-year-old just saying a bunch of random stuff first. So I just reverse engineered. The video was viral. He's saying random stuff, and then he subtitled things the child was not saying, because the child wasn't saying anything. It was just making noises.
Yeah.
And then he filmed his questions after the fact and let those be the answers and the way he shot it. So I was like, okay, I get it. And that's a good example. So I recreated that video, and turns out, and then the video got millions of views. And there's something about modeling the masters, modeling success, like success leaves clues. And so there was a reason that video was funny. There was a reason that video worked the way it did, is because it followed a template. And so I just found that template and I imitated it.